Hello and welcome to NWR Live. This is our special report. I'm Preksha with you. Multiple scam-tainted Congress gets another nail in the coffin with now Congress chief Sonia Gandhi and Rahul Gandhi. They both have been asked to appear in a Delhi court on August 7th in a case that accuses them of cheating and criminal breach of trust. That is the Gandhis and the National Herald scam. I have Mr. Venkatesh Ramachandran from Chennai with me. He's a chartered accountant and economic columnist joining me on the show. Welcome to the show, sir.
Good afternoon. Tell me.
Sir, this whole scam that has come out, it has been in news but not been talked about for a really long time.
Yeah.
Now, Mr. Swamy, when he filed a case against them and now the court has asked that the Gandhis to appear in court because there is prime facie evidence regarding that.
Yeah.
The money in the house invested in another company coming back to another company which is owned by the Gandhis itself. This is a scam which is running in the family itself, misutilizing the public funds.
Yeah. See, the whole thing is, by and large, Indian media has been very, very skeptical about putting the Gandhis under the microscope. And that allows them to do most of the transactions without any let or fear of scrutiny by the media. But this case, I'm very happy to say that Mr. Swamy took it up personally, and he did bring about the whole case in a very beautiful manner and explained to the judge. I think it was more than 10 hearings went on before the learned magistrate ordered that the accused must be produced, must present themselves before her. So to this extent, this is a very extensively researched case. And this case in a nutshell is like this. See, the Congress party, being a political entity, is not allowed under the People's Representation Act to partake in any commercial transaction.
Right.
So the first breach was when the Congress party gives an interest-free loan of 90 crores to a company called Associated Journal. Now that is breach number one. Breach number two is after having given this 90 crores, the Congress party does not do anything. Not even lift it little finger to recover back this money. Any prudent man after giving 90 crores would at least file some liquidation or press for recovery of this money.
Yeah.
So they don't do this and allow the whole thing to fall apart and write the 90 crores in their books of accounts. The third leg of this conspiracy is for writing off this loan, for waiving off the recovery.
Right, yeah.
The Congress party tells Associated Journal that you give 90 crores worth of shares in your company to a company called Young India.
Young India, yeah.
Okay. And Young India, who is Young India? Young India is owned by Madam Sonia Gandhi and Rahul Gandhi to the extent of 76%. Each one owns 39% shares.
Yeah.
And Oscar Fernandez and Mr. Motilal Vora own the balance 24% of shares.
Okay.
So it is, and look at the whole conspiracy now. There is a Congress party where Madam Sonia Gandhi was the president, Mr. Rahul Gandhi is the vice president, Motilal Vora is the treasurer, Oscar Fernandez is one of the secretaries. They come and give a loan to a company, Associated Journal, where Mr. Motilal Vora is the chairman.
Okay.
And in Young India, all the four are directors. So it is almost that there is no need to even prove the conspiracy. It is almost well established that all the three are one and the same. And to put it in a very in a nutshell, the Congress party tells Associated Journal, the Motilal Vora, the treasurer of Congress party, tells the director of Associated Journal, Motilal Vora, Mr. Motilal Vora, I have given you 90 crores, but you don't pay me the 90 crores.
Yeah, yeah.
Then Motilal Vora and Sonia Gandhi of Young India go and tell Motilal Vora of Associated Journal, look, Mr. Motilal Vora, you have not paid 90 crores to Congress party. Please give us 90 crores shares. Because anyhow you have to pay this money. And so in a tripartite agreement, 90 crores of shares are issued to Young India. And what is the stunning thing is, the Associated Journal prior to this transaction had a paid up capital of around 1 crore.
Yeah.
Post this issue, the paid up capital comes to 91 crores.
91.
And of which 90 crores is held by Associated Journal. Of Associated Journal is held by Young India.
Young India.
So Young India becomes the holding company, 99% holding company of Associated Journal. And 76% of Young India is held by the mother-son combination.
For that matter of fact, that 90 crore has come from Congress party to Associate General. So
exactly.
it's
and you lift the corporate wheel on all the transactions, then you will find that actually 90 crores has been routed from Congress party. It leverages through the transactions, the books of accounts of Associated Journal, and ends up as shares of Young India, which is controlled by the mother and son, who are the beneficiaries of this transaction. And had somebody stolen 90 crores from, say, Congress party's kitty, he would have been hauled by the police.
Right.
But this transaction, has a cloak of respectability just because there are resolutions passed, there are shares being issued, people being taken into confidence on resolutions. Each leg of the transaction has been done intra-wires the Companies Act. That it has been done intra-wires the Companies Act is not the issue. But the sum total of the transaction is definitely a breach of trust, because when I paid 10 rupees to the Congress party as a donor, I expected the Congress party to use that money for political purposes.
Yeah. But this
now,
is the most...
they had no business to give it as a loan. And when this land was given to Associated Journal by the government of India way back in the 30s, they expected it to run this land for, use this land for a specific purpose, i.e. run National Herald. Now, what do you find? That there is no National Herald. Mr. Rahul Gandhi is on record stating that we are not going to revive the paper. And today we have some passport kendra in that building. That building is rented out, and rents are being collected by Associated Journal, and implicitly or explicitly the owners of that rental money is Young India, which is again controlled by the mother.
The Gandhis. So it is a well-woven conspiracy, if you see, and the most disappointing fact is that so much of the public funds is misutilized. And now when we know, first you're giving off an illegal unsecured loan of 90 crores. Now, this comes down to a fact that the already tainted Congress has one more legal battle to fight, but it is very clear that it is already lost, right? Because the evidence is very clear.
See, at this point in time, if you look at the order of the magistrate, she makes it clear that there is a prima facie case to summon the accused, and ask them whether there is anything illegal. And then she would go ahead with the trial. So for her, that it is, at this point in time, it is not whether it is an open and shut case. That may be in the eye of the beholder. For Dr. Swami, it may be an open and shut case. But what the learned magistrate has said in her order, 20-page order, very detailed and very, very beautifully written. She brings about the fact that here is a case where Dr. Swami has got certain documents from the public domain, authenticated by the registrar of companies officials, and having perused all these documents, she finds there is a prima facie case to call and summon these accused to her court and ask them to make the necessary statements. So at this point in time, they are just accused. No finality has been reached. But at this point in time, definitely the trigger has been set in motion and the ball has been set rolling.
We will be seeing the evidences getting cleared and the final results very soon. But, in March 2014, Mr. Subramanian Swamy spoke to NWR Live, and he very clearly mentioned that the media does not play a very rigorously effective, efficient role in taking note of the situation, because when it is about touching the territory of Mrs. Sonia Gandhi and Rahul Gandhi, it is something that they don't do rigorously, because that's why these things do not come out in open.
What Mr. Swamy has said is only the obvious. Several of the topmost journalists in this country are paid journalists, and they are in the payroll of the Congress party and definitely of the dynasty. In fact, had this been not involving Mrs. Sonia Gandhi and Mr. Rahul Gandhi, had it been say any other political party, I'm sure the mainstream media guys would have gone and hounded them and said that, look, they have not made a statement. Till now, we don't hear any statement from both the mother and son. We have not got any statement from these people. The point I'm trying to emphasize is no media wants to touch much less question, much less needle the Gandhi-Nehru Parivar. So this is the state of affairs in this country. It's a very deplorable state. Unfortunately, we have all these mainstream media guys who have been barking on every single small event and trying to, make it as if it's a huge scam. Here is a scam that has been cognized by the court. The court says there is a prima facie evidence for them to come and give their own version of the story. But yet, today we don't find the media hounding the Gandhi-Nehru family. This is really shocking.
Indeed it is, and when we have all the evidence very clear in front of us and the prima facie evidence against the Gandhis now given by the Delhi court, the summon is out there. We have to wait and watch and see what happens in the hearing of this case, particularly how these very clear evidences which make the Gandhis accused of mismanaging the public funds in a controversial manner come out. Thank you so much, Mr. Venkatesh, for talking to NWR Live.
Thank you.
Thanks, sir. So that was Mr. Venkatesh Ramachandran, chartered accountant and economic columnist, speaking to NWR Live and saying that the case filed by Mr. Subramaniam Swamy that accuses the Gandhis of cheating and criminal breach of trust, who claims that the Gandhis broke the law to grab valuable properties in Delhi, including the office of National Herald. Facing embarrassment in the National Herald case now, the Congress is preparing for a legal battle, which according to Mr. Venkatesh is very clear in forms of evidence, because the Metropolitan Magistrate Gomati Manocha has said that the prima facie evidence are all against the accused, and the court has directed them to appear before it August 7th.